Video games have been around long before I was born. It was something that entertained me throughout my whole childhood, and has given me many good memories. But never before has a video game moved me to a point where it's an emotional experience. The Last of Us has changed the way I look at video games, and now I consider it an art of a different form.
Do I need to remind you what is out there?
Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. And in this world, that sort of shit's good for one thing. Getting you killed.
The Last of Us takes place 20 years after a global outbreak. Millions have died or been infected by a virus, but there's still small portions of survivors all around the world. In Boston, we have the main character Joel, who is given a task to journey across America with a little girl Ellie, who is believed to be the only immune to the infection. Joel's mission is to deliver Ellie to the scientists, who might make a cure of her and save what is rest of Earth.
What are you so afraid of?
You're treading on some mighty thin ice here.
What do we do?
You make every shot count.
The Last of Us has a ton of things to offer. The story might seem familiar, but it's the journey that counts and the characters in it. Ellie is one of the strongest parts of the game. She's only 14 years old and was born years after the outbreak. So the first thing that makes the character interesting is that she doesn't know much of how the normal life worked, how things worked out and what people did for a living. She grew up in a horrible world where people fight to stay alive. This is just one of many things that make her so fascinating. Joel is another strong character who gradually becomes more and more of a father figure to Ellie. And what makes Ellie and Joel such a perfect dynamic duo is because Joel once lived a normal life until the outbreak happened, and Ellie was born after the outbreak, which makes their relationship much more interesting. Throughout the journey you meet many different characters. Some are friends and some are enemies, but the game makes both sides equally sympathizing. Sure, it's easy not to like the people who are against you, but you can still understand why they're doing it. In the world of The Last of Us, everyone is trying to survive. Even though Joel is the main character, it doesn't mean he's an honest good guy. He's struggling to survive just as much as any other's doing. Joel does some horrible things in the game, but you can justify it for that. The gameplay is great. There's a lot of action and tons of either infected or humans you need to go through. But what is so great is that you can choose to do what you want. You don't need to kill enemies to get to the next level. Instead, you can choose to be stealthy. The infected can't see because they're blind, so you have to be silent if you're going to sneak your way past them. And there are many different things you can use to trick them away from you, like throwing an object in the opposite way you're going. Stealth has always been one of my favorite stuff in games, and The Last of Us does a great job with it. The music is stunning to listen to. It matches perfectly to the dystopian world, and you really feel that you are The Last of Us. But the thing that strikes the people most, including me, is the graphics. Never before have I seen so beautiful scenery and realistic quality of all the characters. Sometimes it looks so real that you're afraid that it might jump out of the television screen. It really is jaw-dropping. The voices are incredibly done, and the animation in the cutscenes is unforgettable. From the cities to the wintry forests, it all looks so stunning that you can't take your eyes off it. The only minor complaint I have is that sometimes the action went a little bit too far, and felt like filler to make the game longer. I think some of it could have been cut away because it stands a bit in the way for the plot, but because of the great story and the unforgettable characters, it only seems so minor. The Last of Us makes you care for what is going on. It's not only a visual experience, but an emotional journey that you'll never forget. It's the type of game that afterwards I wish I could erase my memory so that I could re-experience those emotions again. I give the game a perfect score, 5 out of 5. The Last of Us is worth buying a PS3 for, trust me. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please like and subscribe and look out for more random videos to come. This is Mr. Horror Movie Guy, signing out.